next up on the list.
Yeah, next up on the list is something that was dropped a little while ago, and it's none other than the trailer for Agatha All Along.
Oh my God.
Just when you think we weren't gonna have a week with no Marvel news, they dropped this on
Deadpool
us.
and Wolverine who?
Oh,
You know, I was expecting a laugh.
far.
I was expecting a laugh. You cannot take that seriously. Come on. Come on now.
So, yeah. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am excited. I mean, I've been excited about this since it was first mentioned right after WandaVision finished, which was like
Early 2020. This has been in the works 3 years.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say 4 years because I thought it was during 2020 when they
Maybe
when they
late
dropped
2020, early 2021.
Yeah, I mean, WandaVision was their very first Marvel Disney Plus show. So
Right,
That,
so
that might have been 2020.
Yeah.
When everybody was in lockdown watching everything.
All I know is I cannot wait because Catherine Hahn is a gem. Like,
Oh, she's so funny.
she's so amazing,
So hilarious,
great.
so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as usual, Marvel, their crack casting team like just nailed it with her and Agatha. So
And Aubrey Plaza is gonna be in this. Ooh.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that alone. I mean, Aubrey Plaza will be still in my heart, but like she's also just like hysterical in everything she does.
Yes.
Like I think like her deadpan like dark humor like is perfect for this setting. I think, and we saw it in full force with this trailer. Just like the way she reacts to certain things, it's like, oh, okay, she's gonna fit right in. Like not even a question.
Definitely a lot of supernatural mixed with horror elements that gives it that fun feel that we're gonna get. It also we had the
So much hocus pocus. There's so much hocus pocus.
I'm
Like,
sure.
I mean, both of them
it's
are
Disney.
owned by Disney.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Disney
I'm
definitely
sure
injected a lot of that
we'll
into the
definitely
show.
we'll definitely get plenty of Easter eggs for that. I'm glad. So we're gonna probably get the redemption. You think we're gonna get a redemption arc for Attica because we last saw her. She was the main villain of WandaVision. They left her.
No, she's a villain.
Well, so this is the thing, right?
She's a villain through and through.
In the most recent Marvel official podcast, they got, I forget his name, but they got like the person in Marvel Studios who's like the main TV person. And he was talking about like a bunch of shows, one of which was Agatha All Along, and he straight up called Agatha like an anti-hero. So like I don't think she'll become a good person. I think this will just be her, being like more explored as a character, which I think is the right thing, right way to go. Because I don't see her as a fully good person.
So kind of like the Loki treatment, but not all the way over the line as
Yeah.
truly redemptive.
Yeah, I could see that
But
way.
I can understand that, but what? Okay, guys, they're villains. We don't need to know the villains turning into heroes. We don't. I personally don't want that. Give me a villain story. Straight villain story, not this is a villain who's trying to be good again, like Loki. Like we saw that already.
That's
Give
the
me
thing with
something new.
Agatha. Like she wasn't like the straight up villain in.
She
Wanda.
wanted- yes, she was.
She was an antagonist, but like she had her own like selfish reasons. Like there were reasons, but they were selfish, but they were still reasons that she did what she did. And but like end of the day, yeah, like she had to get beat, but then Wanda kept her like in place, I guess, within her hex spell, and then that was the end of her, for the time being. Like. But I never like saw her as somebody that's like a straight up,
Anti-hero
like an Avengers level threat type of person. You know what I mean? Like she could turn a leaf a little bit temporarily just to help things out with certain characters and then do things for her own gain and then go back to being who she is. But I think there's definitely a lot more to explore with her character that they might be doing in this show.
Okay,
So
And from the initial watching of this trailer, so it seems like the premise is that she's forming a team to get her powers back because Wanda stripped all that away, making her powerless, and,
Right.
and keep going through on this loop in the hex in
Right.
in Westview.
yeah, because according to IMDb, it says her interest is peaked when this kid, what is his name? He's played by Joe Locke.
Oh, the one that releases her from the
Yeah.
team that
No. It says here, Agatha finds herself down and out of power when a suspicious goth teen helps break her free from a distorted spell. Her interest is piqued when he begs her to take him on the legendary Witch's Road, a magical gauntlet of trials that, if survived, rewards a witch with what they're missing. So she's missing her powers. She's going back to go get her powers. That's it.
I will say though, like that premise is not what I was expecting for this show. I think we all kind of assumed that maybe this was going to take place in the past, like the flashback that we got in WandaVision, like where things were still in the Salem witch trial era in the 1600s, or whatever year that was taking place in, and like explore more of that side of her life. But because this seems more like a detective mystery show.
But who's to say that this doesn't go back in time and throws flashbacks of what happens back then in the 1600s, 1400s, whatever the case is?
No. It could, but it's I don't like it seems like a very present day situation. Yeah. Like there's a dead body, which is presumably Wanda's. I think that's another point of discussion to make in a second. But like it's like what would they do with the past that could connect it to figuring all this stuff out and like her achieving what she needs to achieve with her powers and all that, you know?
Or maybe they'll flash back to the past, which will be the key to unlocking how she could get her powers back. Side note: the name you were thinking of, that's the head of streaming television and an animation for Marvel, is Brad Windenbaum.
Yeah.
Now with Wanda, do we, besides archive footage and using video from WandaVision, do we get an appearance from Elizabeth Olsen in a new setting?
That I think is the $1 million question, but I don't know.
No, I think if they do show her, it'll probably be in like the
past.
Not even in the past. I think it'll be like a little synopsis right before, like, you know, just in case you haven't seen.
Yeah, but then that's just footage from WandaVision. That's not actually her in the show.
It's not her in the show. I don't think so.
The thing is, though, is just like, I mean, another surprising point that this trailer showed us was that, you know, there's a dead body being found in the woods, and apparently it belongs to Wanda Maximoff. Like,
or so it makes us believe that that's what's happening.
Like, but it's like so obvious because like we saw how she presumably died in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, right? She was in that temple at the top of the mountains and God knows where on Earth, and that's how she presumably died. But now all of a sudden her body is in the forest, this random wood.
I mean, all the buildings fell down, right? Who's to say that she wasn't flung from over there onto Westeros or Westview, not Westeros.
No, but wherever that temple was, it was nowhere near America, it seemed.
It's a magical place, Johnny. Anything can happen.
Now, since we're dealing with magic and spells, do we get a cameo from Wong like he appeared on She-Hulk? And this
been a while.
And this may be asking for too much, but originally he was slated to appear on WandaVision. Doctor Strange himself does.
He could, yeah, but like I think he's off gallivanting with Charlize Theron, right? So for the past 2-3 years,
he's off in the multiverse, maybe.
Yeah. So,
but I wouldn't, for some reason, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Wong cameo of some.
We have to.
It's been a while.
It's the Wong cinematic universe.
It is.
Yeah.
He's going to be in everything. So, you know, for at least 3 seconds, he's going to be there. They're going to see him and show him up. That's it.
And him and not.
Remember, he's the Sorcerer Supreme, not Doctor Strange.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
Very true. I mean, when push comes to shove, this show looks very interesting. Like I want to see where they take the overall story with this.
But you brought up something before that kind of, because I didn't look into it or anything like that. But you said the whole internet is out there saying that they're not liking the.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give it like another 24 hours before the more reasonable people start commenting too. But like, yeah, I mean, the initial reaction from like comments on social media that I'm seeing is like people are just asking like, "What's the point of this? Like, oh, this is gonna flop or whatever. Who cares? Like, what does this do for the story?" And like, you don't know yet. Like, we were just saying, they could bring back Wanda for all we know. They could do like bring Wong back or whatever. There could be some tie at the last minute that But the thing is, even if there's not. Isn't that something that like the fans also were saying like should be done? Like not everything needs to be immediately connected to whatever's coming next. Like sure, explore the character of Agatha more. That sounds interesting enough to me if you make a good story out of it. But
that's why we have the after credit scene at the end of the show.
Yeah, I mean, the whole pull of the show shouldn't come down to the post credit scene. But if you want a connection, that's where it'll be. But it doesn't need a connection to be good. Like the story doesn't need a connection to the greater MCU just to be valid. You know?
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
All I
It's
know,
it'll be sent. I mean, not centered. It'll be self-contained.
Yeah,
A
so like,
self-contained
I don't
story.
want to say that this show is off to a rocky start with the fans because I just feel like the knee jerk reaction crowd
it's a
is
loud,
out.
it's a loud vocal minority. All I know is that Katherine Hahn was a standout. She was the scene stealer from WandaVision. And
Yeah,
it's very,
she was
and
the
it's-
highlight.
And it was very exciting that Marvel Studios and Disney followed by giving her own spin-off. And it looks like there's a lot of potential in this first trailer.
I mean, yeah, listen, if you're a fan of things like Hocus Pocus, if you're a Catherine Hahn fan, I'm sure there are a lot of Aubrey Plaza fans out there.
Oh, yeah.
That, like I said, she fits into this show like a glove. I don't see a reason to look at this and say like, oh, I don't even want to attempt to give the show a shot.
Yeah.
You know? So
I agree.
just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah.
But it looks really good. It looks really interesting.
So the question goes out to you guys. What do you guys think? Do you think that this show is going to be great? Do you think that finally maybe Disney is actually going to learn and create a real show as opposed to the crappy shows that they've been doing right now? Let us know in the comment section down below.